Hi, I'm Ed Gardner of Gardner Real Estate Group, host of American Dream TV right here in Portland, Maine. And I'm joined today with my good friend and co-host, Sarah Hansen.
Hi, Ed.
Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on this really cold day here in Portland.
It's my pleasure. Wouldn't be anywhere else.
We're here on the Eastern Prom of Portland and Munjoy Hill, the tallest point of the peninsula of Portland, where we're going to show you a couple of gems up here today, one of them being the Portland Observatory. We're going to join Amy there in just a minute and show you that fantastic structure. And here we are at the Portland Observatory up on Munjoy Hill. Sarah, it kind of looks like a lighthouse.
It might look like a lighthouse, but it's not a lighthouse. This is actually a maritime signal tower, and it is the only remaining maritime signal tower in the country. So this was built in 1807 by a very enterprising Captain Lemuel Moody. And what it functioned as is a way to signal to ship owners that their ships were coming into the harbor through a series of flags. And we'll get to see a lot more of that once we're inside.
Captain Moody ventured up 3 times a day to check on the weather and take what he called his thermometrical readings, which we still have records of today, so we can actually figure out what the temperature was 200 years ago. We have that record, which is really interesting. We're on the ground floor now. This is the first floor of 6 floors, and it's extremely tall, 104 steps total. He built it, being a ship captain, like a ship. So instead of being a very tall structure with a really deep foundation, which you might expect, he actually built it with ballast in the bottom, as a ship would have.
So it stays
straight up. And it does during storms and windy days, actually at the top feel quite solid. There were 2 major restoration campaigns in the observatory's history. The first one was in the 1930s, and that corresponded with the Works Progress Administration's WPA. So a lot of the early work was done during that time period. And then in the late 1990s, Greater Portland Landmarks and the city of Portland came together and did a very large restoration. In fact, when you walk around the building, you might notice that there are 2 different color timbers in the building. The lighter color timber is actually the newest timber because the conservation techniques and standards that we use now mean that we want to show the work that we did. We don't want it to be confused with the historic work that was done, so we leave it that color. And it kind of shows you the story of the observatory's restoration over time.
It does. It's awesome. And here we are on beautiful historic Commercial Street. This is the area where ships would come into port, drop off their wares and goods, and also the fishing boats would unload their seafood, especially lobster, for all of their restaurants here in Portland.
I don't know about you, Ed, but I could use a warm drink and some seafood.
Well, if you like seafood, I got just the place for you.
Let's go.
Right across the street.
Perfect.
Dimillo's on the water.
Awesome.
Here we are in Dimillo's restaurant, and we finally get to meet Steve Dimillo, one of the family managers here. Good to see you, and thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you. So this has been a family favorite. Some of the best seafood in Portland right here at Dimillo's.
Thank you very much. We're very fortunate to be right here on the waterfront, and seafood abounds. And
so this is an old ferry boat, right?
This is a converted car ferry. So the boat was launched in 41. My dad bought it in 1980 after it had been retired in 69. Its last run as a car ferry was Newport to Jamestown, Rhode Island, and it was the Newport. So we had a lot of people that drive up to come to their ferry. They either went to school on the ferry or they used the ferry for back and forth to work. So it's got a lot of history from those runs as a car ferry. But we've been on the boat for 43 years, and in the neighborhood for over 70 years. So we've certainly got some roots here on the west.
Wow. Welcome to Chandler's Wharf Condominium, right here in downtown Portland. Just off Commercial Street, you can live in any of these units here with covered parking below us and boat slips surrounding the wharf. So this special townhouse is just over 1,700 square feet on 3 levels. You'll find a beautiful wide open living space here with a gas fireplace, deck overlooking the water. Upstairs you'll find 2 en-suites, and then 3rd floor is a multi-purpose loft.
So there are so many other segments we could do, Ed, about the amazing history in Portland, all the buildings. But let's save that for another time, maybe when it's a little bit warmer.
Till next time, in any season, make Portland, Maine your American dream.